So, got ourselves an interesting episode today, but first, before I begin, you might have realized I'm back in my room again. They're currently trying to move stuff, so, it probably will be a while till I return back to that room. So, for the time being, let's talk about the new episode of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. This one, obviously, is a Cutie Mark Crusaders and Big Mac episode, with a little sprinkle of the Equal Town. Apologies if I don't remember the name of that town. It's just, I don't know, the name, I can't even remember what they gave the name of the town, so I just called it the Equal Town. Just because I honestly forget what it's named. But what we have today is Hard to Say Anything, which apparently to Google is Honest Apple. Bizarre, I know. But I'm just gonna say the episode this week is Hard to Say Anything. Interesting how Google can mess up their information. But not only that, it's also the provider. But in today's episodes, before I get distracted, obviously Big Mac is heading back to the Equal Town to give Sugar Belle her apples to, so she can make her tasty desserts for the town. Of course, the Cutie Mark Crusaders follow to try to see what's happening, as, of course, they think that Big Mac obviously has a crush on her. Later on, it turns out that there's another pony who I swear looks like Mando Pony for some odd reason, as, of course, it's a battle to see who loves who first. And, honestly, it gets bizarre down there. It goes from this Mando Pony looking like dude to Big Macintosh struggling to have her fall in love with each other, but in the long end, they drive her up the walls for every little thing that they beg her to fall in love with, which is not the way love works. You can't win her over by flowers or music or sugary candies. That's not the way you do it. But, of course, in the long end, Big Mac winds up fixing something in the end, because earlier on, Big Mac noticed that, Sugar Belle has a table, but it doesn't hold enough desserts. So, he winds up building her a new stand for everything and fits, more desserts on her table. And in the end, she likes Big Mac. But obviously the Mando Pony, interesting name I've given, obviously winds up deciding to instead fall in love with the, I swear, the 3 ponies from Beauty and the Beast. Not that one, of course. So, that's the way everything ends in this episode. Sugar Belle likes Big Mac now, and in the end, we see ourselves seeing the world from her perspective. So, I'm not one to talk about romance or anything, because I barely can understand it, but in the process, I think it's decent. I think it's alright how they portrayed it in this, but I believe it's something that is passable. I mean, obviously the first episode was really good and fleshed out Celestia more, and the second one was definitely great for bottling up anger. But this one, I believe the lesson in this is learning how to be nice, or at least don't go overboard with trying to love a certain friend. At least that's what I got out of this. I don't know. What do you think? Is this like a story about how not to overthrow somebody? Is this a film about... film? What am I thinking? A story on how romance should work properly and not go overboard? Just want to hear what you guys think. And next week it'll be interesting to see what we have for this week's episode. Or next week. I hear that it's kind of interesting, but also, by the time it hits the last week of June, we get ourselves the free Equestria Goals specials. So, it'd be interesting to see what happens there. So, see you guys next week for the all-new episode. So, bye.